If I lose it, I lose. Okay. This song is like a branch of celery. I was kind of the only one. I've never thought of that way. Okay, you surprised me there. They have this lyrics where they say, I like my women like I like my vegetables. I test my friends, you know? Yeah, that's very deux chansons.
Is there like a moment in your life where you thought, okay, yes, I want to be a musician? Like a concert or... Hello everyone, today I'm sitting with Loulia, a singer from France. You might know her from The Voice of Germany, where she reached the semi-finals this year. We're happy she's here today with us. Like before your gigs, do you have like a pre-gig ritual, something you do before you go on stage to like get the nerves out or get you amped up or get you calmed down?
I'm actually not really stressed to go on stage. I'm not really nervous. If I'm nervous, it's because like, you know, there's some tension somehow on a human level, but it's not really about music. Or if like the sound check went really bad and I couldn't hear myself. But I'm usually not really nervous, I would say. But I have rituals such as, for example, the nose piercing. I wear it every time I'm on stage, and it's not real.
Oh, it's like
It's
clip-on.
fake, guys. It's fake.
Is it like a clip-on
It's
thing?
like just like you can just slide it on. Yeah. And actually I said it on the voiceover as well. I was like, I need this.
It's
If
like,
I lose it, I lose.
it's like a bit of extra confidence.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a superstitious person, so I put all of my trust in that little thing. That's it. That's bad.
I hope you won't lose it then.
Once I went on stage and I didn't have it, and I was a bit panicking, but then I actually really had fun on stage and it went really well. So it kind of proved me like, I don't need a nose piercing to sing well. It doesn't go hand in hand. But if I can, I'll wear it.
Very good.
Yeah, that's my ritual.
Then the song you played, it's your own song, right? Like your last single. And is there like some kind of food that suits the vibe of that song?
Well, it's called sick, so I guess whatever makes you sick.
Or whatever makes you healthy.
Or whatever makes you healthy. Okay. Wow. I've never thought of that way. Okay, you surprised me there. I feel like it's a bit zesty. It's kind of like, I feel like it can be a bit fun, but okay, avocado toast with a bit of lemon zest. Because it's healthy, it makes you feel fancy, it's a bit hopeful. You're like, taking time for me today. But I'm also a little bit...
Speaking about food, like do you have like, if you have friends over, for example, do you have like a signature dish you cook for them? Is it like a Loulia recipe?
Yeah. Loulia recipe, I don't know. But like there's one that I do mainly for myself and I'm like, I would force people to like it because I like it. So it's a pea soup, like peas with pea soup. Sounds so bad. Soup with peas and mint.
Okay. How does that work?
How does that work? Well,
how does one make a soup with peas and mint?
You boil onions. So you cook onions and garlic, and then once they're a bit brown, you add water with broth, and you add potatoes and peas, and then when you mix it only, that's when you add the fresh mint. But most of the time, I would say, if I get people over, I will do tteokbokki, which is Korean sticky rice cakes, very spicy. I test my friends, you know, how much can they handle?
Oh, yeah.
How cool are they? Can they handle spicy? Can they handle me?
And
they can.
yeah,
Yeah, I've chose well.
okay, very good.
Yeah.
It's a good friend selector.
Yes, natural selection.
Yeah. Back to music. Like, do you have any like artist recommendations in Berlin?
There are many, to be fair. So there's this band called Pedali Pesanti that I think is really cool. They have this lyrics where they say, I like my women like I like my vegetables.
How?
Seasoned and sweaty on the top of the stove. And I think it's great. So Pedali Pesanti, really
What
like
kind of
it.
music is it?
It's like kind of fun rock, I would say.
Fun rock.
Fun rock, a bit garage. I would say Sinna as well. She has a really nice low voice and I really like her lyrics. There's also this artist called Puello, with whom I'm working at the moment, and he does indie, and actually I'm not a really big indie person. I discovered yesterday his songs, and like I felt deeply touched by them, and I usually go more for like soul R&B. But he was very, yeah, very touched. So quello, pedali pesanti.
Like, how do you usually create? Do you like compose the music yourself, or do you like do mostly collaborations, or what's your process?
It really depends, I would say. Most of the time, I sit with myself and I kind of write at the same time lyrics and melodies. It never really takes too long for me to write a song, but I need to be alone for that. Once I have the melody and the chords in head, or like, yeah, an idea of a beat, then I send it to someone who's more appropriate and someone who has better skills than me. And we work on it together. It also happens that, yes, I collaborate with people. We meet for a session with nothing really in mind, and there we kind of jam together. And that's how a lot of my songs came out. But I find this process, even though I really like it, I find it a bit more stressful for me. I feel like I have to come up with something right now, and maybe it feels less genuine than something I would write if I was on my own.
Yeah, how does like Berlin influence your music? You've lived here for 2.5 years, you said. Is there any like influence from the local scene that seeps into your sounds?
From the local scene, I don't know, but I feel like I've been much more. So I've always done R&B and soul, but I feel like I was kind of the only one when I was in Korea, when I was in France, in my circle at least. So coming in Berlin and being surrounded by people who do it inspired me a bit more, I would say. I don't know if it's necessarily Berlin that also inspired my songwriting or whatever. I think it's just me growing and moving to Berlin kind of induced that. I don't know if it's the city in itself, really.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
indirect influence.
Yeah, moving here influenced me, but I would have moved somewhere else, it would have also influenced me.
Is there like a moment in your life where you thought, okay, yes, I want to be a musician? Like a concert or
I don't know, I feel like it was always kind of unsaid goal, even when I was a kid. I don't know, I grew up with music. My parents always listened to music, did music a bit also themselves. But was there a moment? I don't think it was a concert or whatever. It might have been a video or so. I was very interested in watching like those competitions of people discovering themselves on stage, kind of. It would make me very emotional. Just the fact that somebody can, we're all just humans. We're just all a little person. And then people step on stage and they just shine. They share something with people, whatever emotion it might be. And when I felt that through a screen, I was like, imagine how that could be if I was the one singing and the people are directly there.
and do you have like a point where you're aiming for, like say in like a few years that you have a goal where you want to be with your music?
Oh, I dream big. Um, but I don't, and I know that I should have a goal with more numbers, you know? There's this thing called SMART. I think it's called SMART. Yeah, right?
That's super corporate. Like
It's super
smart goals, you
corporate.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
SMART goals. And it's like you need to say when, how much, and what. And I feel like it doesn't have to be huge things if I say, for example, in 5 years, but my goal would be to play in better venues, better festivals. Not saying the ones I'm playing at are bad or whatever, but a bit bigger ones. Yeah, that I play for a crowd that is not part of my friend group, that are people that are solely there because they believe in my music, and that we can sing the lyrics together. That's something I really want to do, like singing together my own lyrics with a crowd.
You did
And
that a bit, right? In
yeah,
Arnhem?
a bit, but I think that could be so fun if it was like, a bigger connection, a
Like an
bigger,
arena
an
situation.
arena, perhaps. Yeah. No, I just really like it, this feeling of togetherness, that it's not just me against the audience, that it's like we're all there, kind of.
Up to now, your favorite like gig or musical experience, like in Berlin mainly?
I really like the community that I've met through performing, because I started here as a student. So when you're a student in music, it's easy to meet a community because you're both Like everybody's doing the same studies, but everybody was doing very different genres. And I feel like by performing, I kind of broke out of that bubble of studying and got to know people that got closer to me because of what I was doing. And favorite experience on stage, there are quite many, but one that was recent and that I really liked was this August. My parents came for the first time to see me. But you were there actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the All-Star session, I was stressed for that one because we never rehearsed. That's the thing. The concept is you don't rehearse with the musician and you just show up there and then you see. And I was like, okay, my parents are here for the first time. Watch me on stage. I guess we'll see. And turns out it went really fine and it was very fun and the audience was so like there.
What are the pros and cons for you of like being an artist in Berlin?
Pros and cons. Pros, Berlin is a very good city for artists, I feel like. Creatives and international creatives are very present in the city, and most crowds and most venues are open for such artists. However, I don't know if it's a Berlin thing. I think it's more like Berlin is within Germany, because Berlin feels outside of Germany a lot of times, but still it is German. And so there's still an expectation of like singing in German, perhaps, if you were aiming for, I don't know, bigger deals or whatever.
Okay.
That's kind of what's working well. And also the fact that everybody's an artist here makes the competition also, although it makes a community that is lovely, it also, there's less space.
It's like a pro and a con.
Yeah, it's a pro and a con at the same time. Yeah.
Getting schooled musically in like a non-Western music culture, how did that influence you?
Influenced me very much because Korea, I would say East Asia in general, but Korea is very strict and very structured. It's a very perfectionist culture, and they have a lot of standards and expectations, which is a bit tiring sometimes, I think, but it made me very technical, and my work ethics, I think, are very strong. And it made my life in Europe easier in a way, because there's more thing that I have to disconstruct, rather than things I need to build up. So that's also an interesting process, that I built up so many strict things that here I can just allow myself to let go and enjoy what I've learned there, instead of being so, no, it needs to be perfect.
How does it feel for you, like singing in like not your mother tongue, or like also in your mother tongue? Like, is there like a different kind of emotion attached to the music for you per kind of language?
I feel like it depends on how well I speak the language. If I was to sing in German, I wouldn't have too much of a relationship with the song, I feel like. But when it comes to language I speak fluently, I feel like languages are very cultural, and the values that a language has are the same values that a culture can have. Um, when I sing in French, I feel like it's more vulnerable in a way, because even though that's not really the main language I speak at the moment, that's the one that I grew up with, that my memories are rooted in, and that my family speaks. So it's more vulnerable. When I sing in English, it's much more generic, but I feel like I can also be more precise. And most of my social interactions as a adult happen in English, whereas it's love, relationships, friendships, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like I have a better hand on it. And in Korean, I think it's also because of what I heard of Korean music. Like, I feel like lyrics are very deep by being very simple. And so when I sing in Korean, I feel like there's this depth within being just like super light, but yet super precise. I feel like I need to be much more precise when I sing in Korean. It's less more emotional,
Okay.
I'd say.
Do you still speak a lot of Korean?
I still speak it. I have a few friends here that are Korean that I work with, especially a photographer. And we speak only in Korean. So I do keep it. I still have contact with my Korean friends that are back there, but I don't speak it as much as I would like to. So I'm losing like the reflex. But I also have it in French. I became less good in French than I was before.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
Exactly. That's an expat thing, I think.
I think the more languages you learn, you always lose like a percentage. And sometimes it differs per day as well. I think that like sometimes I feel like my German is super good one day and the other day I can't speak it at all. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like melody wise, what's your favorite language to sing in? Like, is there?
English,
Yeah.
I'd say, because that's the music I consume the most as well. And I feel like there's more freedom in English. It's a smooth language, but Korean sounds really good when it's sung as well. French, I used to hate it, but then I got to. It's really weird. For actually on The Voice, they asked me to sing in French, and I had to give a list of songs, and on there I put La Vie en Rose just like that. I don't know why. And when they gave the song to me, I was like, huh? And I forgot that it was me who gave it to them. And I was like, oh man, that's not good. Like, that's so cliche and that's French. I don't really like it. And then actually, the version that I got to do it was thought by me. It was inspired by Lady Gaga on A Star Is Born, but it kind of reconciled me with French language when it's being sung, and I felt very empowered by it somehow, and I felt like I was not shining in it within a cliche, but more as an artist and as a French interpret, and it was really cool. So now I'm thinking of getting back at singing in French, perhaps, or mixing. I have some songs where I speak the three languages, and I mix.
But what also happened is that you participated in the Voice of Germany, the Voice of Deutschland, also called. Would you recommend artists to participate in that?
I would recommend it for sure, but I would recommend people to participate in it with a grounded mind, um, and be aware that like the audience of The Voice is the audience of The Voice. They are watching a TV show which you're part of. It's a really good exposure. It's a really good place to meet the industry professionals, to meet new artists, new friends, and great experience to play with an awesome band. And like they're really good, and perhaps have dancers on a cool stage and blah blah blah, but also not expected to change the like your whole career.
Yeah.
You can expect it to push it, but I think that's something that maybe even myself, even though realistically I was like, and consciously I was like, this is just a step.
Yeah.
And actually Samu was very good. My coach was really good at telling us like, this is a step. You don't need The Voice to succeed later. It's just a step. And that's good to be reminded, because if you put all of your focus on it, you might in the end be a bit underwhelmed
Yeah.
and disappointed.
Was it like a clear yes for you, or did you have like any reservations, second thoughts about it? Like,
No, it was a clear yes. I think I wanted to do it anyways, and I had experience with TV in Korea, so I really wanted to see how it is in Europe as well. So it was a yes out of curiosity, and because I was like, there's nothing to lose, really.
yeah.
If there's nothing to win, then why not? That's fine. But there's way more to win than there's to lose, because there's legit nothing to lose there.
Yeah, fair enough. So like I know Berlin mostly musically for like of course techno, but like how is like the R&B scene here? Like is it big or like is there a lot of opportunities to play? Because I know a lot of venues and you don't see a lot of R&B there.
Yeah. I think because I'm in the R&B scene, I feel like there's a lot of venues that actually are down. But that's because that's the circle I'm in, let's say. But I would say the R&B scene, at least when it comes to emerging artists, um, we are many, but we also know each other. Like it's a it's a small group of many people.
Yeah.
I'd say a small circle with many people, but there are opportunities. I feel like it's opening up, but it's also very not German. It's very international. There's a lot of mix in there. But it's maybe gonna grow. But yeah, I think Berlin might not be the best place for it. The UK might be, a bit better. But Berlin is really well connected as well to other countries. I feel like in Europe, it's one of the best connected place.
You should go to Rotterdam.
Really? Yeah, as you said, yeah, you said that. I mean, I might look into it,
Yeah, it's very close to
Yeah, I mean, I might just go. I would love to do a European tour. So if in Rotterdam they have opportunities for R&B artists, I might just look it up and go there. But I feel like R&B is growing anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes you unique as well, which is also like if you're in a more, they're probably really hard as well to be a techno DJ in Berlin because there's so many of them.
Everyone does
So we
that,
just
yeah.
play at a birthday party
Yeah.
somewhere.
And I feel like what is also on my side is that I don't do like typical R&B on stage because you saw me like acoustic, but actually when I'm full band, it's very funk.
Yeah.
So it's funk with R&B, and I also try to add a jazzy
Yeah, it's a bit
touch.
jazzy, I would say.
So I try to not be too like too much jailed in one genre, and as much as I mix the languages, I try to mix the genres as well.
What's your favorite venue in Berlin?
Favorite venue to play to or to
Whatever
go
you
to?
prefer.
Hmm. Um. phew, Hmm. So I really enjoy playing at Sky Mike at Locker Hotel. I think it's because I really like the band that I play with there. And it always brings a lot of people. Like the audience is always like very packed and just really reactive. But it's still a hotel and that's not really made for music. So I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite venue. It's my favorite event, maybe. Favorite venue. I really like playing at Bogu because I played there multiple times, and that was actually my first scene in Berlin. So I guess I kind of have like this biased relationship with it. And to go to, I really like going to Bogu as well. But I have much more to discover. So
Where would you like to play?
where would I like to play? I don't know, maybe Uber Eats. Uber Arena, maybe. I don't know, no. I mean, why not? That could be cool. Madame Claude. Madame Claude, if you're listening, this is for you. Yeah, no, when it comes to smaller venues, yeah, Madame Claude. Like there's so many that I still want to explore. Yeah. Yeah. Prachtwerk. I really like Prachtwerk. I played there multiple times, but I would like to have my own event there. Could be cool.
Yeah. I think we got it.
Merci, gracias.